Alright, I want this to be just a quick video that covers the kind of what's in the box and my very early thoughts on the Canon T5i. It might be a little silly, or you might think it's a little silly to do what's in the box, but oftentimes I get people who write me and say, here's this package I'm looking at, it comes with battery charger, battery, da-da-da, and they go on this list. I want everybody to know, if you're buying new in the box, it always comes with certain things. So we're going to look at those real quick. So what I have here is the Canon T5i with 18-55 IS STM lens, and we'll talk more about that in a second. So it of course comes with the camera, the body, and the STM lens. Those things are separate in the box. You don't need to watch me take them all out. I've already done that. It also comes with a body cap, and an end cap for the lens. Don't know if you know this, but these two things fit together nicely and stay together nicely. You should put them someplace safe. Comes with the warranty card. Comes with the EOS solution disc. Again, I have a lot of questions about what software can I use to view raw files. My personal preference is Lightroom. It's a wonderful program, but it does cost about $100. Canon does provide DPP, Digital Professional Picture, I think that's what it's called. And it is a free program that will let you work with your raw files. It's just not quite as user-friendly and as powerful as Lightroom, but it certainly does the job. So if you want to shoot raw and you're on a serious budget and you've just gotten a new Canon, T5i, T4i, whatever, that's programs on there. There is also a program on here that will let you do tethered shooting. So I get questions about that often. So there's good stuff on there. What else is on there? The manual is on there as well. You get these two little books for a English and a Spanish if you're buying in the United States. If you're buying elsewhere, I imagine you get your home language. I never open these up. I leave them all sealed up because I go and download the PDF online. I put it on my phone, I put it on my iPad, and then I always have it with me, and it's easy to browse through. So those are those things. The other bits that come in here, just talk real quick, comes with a battery charger. They all do. This is that standard Canon battery charger that needs a little cord plug-in. If you have a Mac and you have one of those little white Mac adapters, that will fit in there nicely. Here's the cord for that. We don't need to see it. It's a cord that plugs into the wall in the battery. A neck strap. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of neck strap. I just gave away a Black Rapid recently. We'll be giving away some more soon. And then the last thing that it comes with is just the little USB cord that lets you download pictures. That lets you download pictures or do the tethered shooting. So that's available as well. And that's it. That's all that's in the box. And it's all that you need. There is no memory card in the box. You need a memory card to start shooting. There's no internal memory at all. There's a buffer, but it doesn't save pictures. And I think the best price point value is the SanDisk 16 gigabyte Extreme. You can get the Extreme Pro if you want, but it's a little bit overkill for the T5i or T4i. Okay, so here it is. Canon T5i with 18-55 IS STM lens. And here is the T4i with 18-55 IS lens, no STM. First thing I was really curious about is how quiet is the STM, because there's currently two other STM lenses. There's the 18-135, which is absolutely silent during autofocus, and there is the 40, which makes a audible whine when it's focusing. And the good news is the 18-55 STM is absolutely silent and very, very smooth. Just used it just a little bit. As you can see, I still got the box. I'm still taking pieces out, but it does seem very nice, very quiet. The other nice thing about an STM lens is it does offer full-time manual focus if you're half pressing the shutter. You do not have full-time manual focus or even quasi full-time manual focus with the old 18-55. It must be in manual focus for you to rotate. Now, you might say, who cares? And I think a lot of people won't care. But for amateur filmmakers on a real budget, this isn't a bad option, it seems. Because having manual control over focus, how I like to do it is oftentimes I will use autofocus before the shot begins, and by shot I mean video sequence. And then as the video is rolling, I will only use manual focus. I do not rely on autofocus. It's just not quite professional enough. The camera doesn't always know what I want to be focused on. And so you now have the ability to do the quick autofocus and then adjust during the shot with this nice smooth STM ring. It continually rotates forever and ever and ever because it's all electronic, and it's only when you're half pressing the shutter does it allow the information of you rotating it to go to the camera. So that's nice. That was really about the lens, not so much about the camera. The cameras, as far as I can tell, are very, very nearly identical. On the outside, they are in fact identical. The buttons look the same. The styling, I heard some people talking about the styling. There is no difference to this rubber styling on these two cameras. It is pretty much the same. I shouldn't say pretty much, it's the same. The difference, and a lot of people are joking about it, the only difference is the dial. There are some other slight internal differences, and we'll talk about those in my full review. But the dial is different. It has a different texture to it. It rotates 360 degrees continuously if you're rotating it, whereas on the T4i it has a stop point, and if you want to get to the other side of the dial you have to rotate back around. There are some items that are now missing from the dial, and they have been kind of consumed and put underneath your scene mode. So now in scene modes you have access to the backlight HDR, night shot, night portrait, HDR. Those are now all under scene modes, whereas they were on the dial itself here. And that's pretty much it. The screen is gorgeous as it is on the T4i. I had somebody tell me that it's 60 hertz now for the screen versus 40 hertz here. That's a pretty minor difference. As again, I haven't used it enough to see if that actually makes a difference, but we'll see. If you notice, pinch cap, which is nice. It works a lot nicer with a lens hood. Don't know if I would worry too much about putting a lens hood on this lens, but it is nice. Now, if you're very interested in having the 18-55 STM on the T4i, they are selling it separately. It's about $250. You know, there are a lot of options when you start to look at getting a next lens. It's very nice that they've improved this lens as part of the kit, but when you start to look at what else is out there, I don't know if buying this lens is the best for you, unless you got the 18-55 with the T4i, you're really unhappy about autofocus during video, you want that continuous autofocus. Parents, I'm mostly thinking about you trying to video your kids. You just want easy camcorder-like solution, and this is now a much closer step towards that with that 18-55. You also have the 18-135 though, which is a really nice range and a very nice lens as well. Are there any quality differences between these two lenses yet? I haven't been able to tell. Are there any quality differences between the cameras themselves, the sensors? I don't think so, but I haven't looked at any comparisons yet. That will all be coming in a more detailed review of both the T5i and a comparison of T5i versus T4i. Now, I saw one person ask, so how does it compare to the T3i? And this is a great question because pretty soon Canon is going to discontinue the T4i, and it's not going to be able to be purchased for a new price or a new price that's reasonable. What often happens is the few new ones that are around get jacked up and priced really high. Well, it's very similar to the T4i, so really take my comparison there. There are certainly some benefits over that. If you want that easy autofocus during video, again, parents, I'm really thinking about you, then it may be worth your upgrade. If you're a photographer, especially not a higher speed sport photographer, there's nothing that these offer. The reason why I qualify that with a higher speed is you do get those greater focus accuracy points. You have all of them are cross-type 2.8. In the T4i and T5i, and in the T3i only the center one is. It's not a huge difference. And you get a little bit better burst rate. just a little bit. Again, not a huge difference. If you're a high-speed sports photographer, you might want to consider the 60D, which again, same image quality, bigger. We want to talk about that too. Okay, I think that's all I want to say in this initial video. Again, if you have any questions, just leave them down below or come over and find me on the Facebook page. Thanks so much for watching.